Hey guys, it's Down in the Fish Guy, and someone needs to lighten up. Okay, so I'm reading through the news and I come across this story about a concert in the city of Draper by Michael W. Smith. If you don't know who Michael W. Smith is, he's a musical artist who sings a lot about his Christian faith, and he's going to do a concert in the city of Draper. Now, apparently, that made a gentleman by the name of Todd Oots uncomfortable. Now, why would it make him uncomfortable, would you ask? Well, it seems that Mr. Oots is an atheist, and the reason he's concerned is that the concert is going to be taking place at the Draper Amphitheater, which is owned by Draper City, which is a municipality. So he sees it as a combination of church and state, crossing lines. Now, I'm going to have to call shenanigans on this. Okay, my first concern is that when talk of a lawsuit came up, the city of Draper backed off and said, okay, well, we'll cancel the concert. Now, that's a little bit too much pandering for my taste. And I used to live in Draper. I like it out there. It's a good city. But I think we're getting a little too nervous about canceling a big concert just because one guy doesn't like it. All right, my next concern is really what's the problem here? Now, his concern is that it's taking place on a municipally, I can't say that word, uh, owned theater, and so religious content shouldn't be discussed. Have you been to Utah? I mean, if you've never been to Utah, you might not know that there is a very large Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints population out here. If you've been to Utah and you don't realize that, you're really not paying attention. Now, the city of Draper responded when they were asked why they decided to host this concert, and they gave an answer which I can get behind, because they thought that it would sell tickets and people would show up and the residents of Draper would enjoy the concert. Now, to me, that does make sense. I mean, I don't listen to Michael W. Smith. He's not my thing. But if you want to go to his concert, go. And I also do some work in Draper. There's not a lot of place to host concerts, so it's just about as good a place as any. The other big issue I take with this is we're getting to a point where this whole separation of church and state thing is starting to get out of control. Now, first of all, separation of church and state isn't in the Constitution. Okay, it's referenced in some letters Thomas Jefferson wrote, but it's not in the Constitution. It's a general rule in the First Amendment that the state cannot be a church. Okay, look it up, read the Constitution, send me a bunch of angry emails, whatever, but it's not there. And even though Mr. Oots did point out in the state constitution that they have a similar clause saying that the state can't sponsor a church activity, it's not a church throwing the event. It's an artist throwing the event at a city-owned amphitheater. So the church, Christian church, is not throwing the concert. The artist is, who happens to be Christian and sings songs about Christianity. So to me, that argument's debunked. Now, I am a big supporter of individual freedom. I mean, I don't want anyone stuffing their ideas up in my face, telling me what to think, what to do, what to believe in. But at the same time, neither does anyone else. So if you're telling people they can't have their concert because you don't like what they're singing about, you're telling them what to think or do or believe. And that's just as wrong. So stop it. Okay? You're just making yourself look foolish. And hey, if you want to stand outside the concert with your signs saying, hey, I don't support this and I think it's wrong, and you want to get on the news about it, that's great. I support you doing that. Just peaceful protest, I can get behind. But griping to gripe doesn't make sense to me. And by the way, if you do go there to protest, you'll just happen to hear Michael W. Smith singing. So really, I have to say to you, Mr. Oots, lighten up, man. It's Adam the Fish Guy saying, hey,